Alright, so when last we left off, you guys were just getting back from having a nice long little night of drinking after some construction gotten done. People roleplayed. There was much chaos and destruction, as there always is. And we arrive at the next morning to find that just about everyone has actually arrived on the island, and construction is going at a nice steady pace. You guys should be done pretty quickly. Although there's been talk about perhaps sending an expedition into the deeper part of the woods to see if more resources can be gathered and to see if any missing persons can be found.
Fantastic. And who is leading leading the organization of this expedition?
Lady Maria?
Well, then, if we're gonna hop on that, we might as well head off to one of the villages wherever she is at.
So you heading to town?
I'll head to town. I don't know what anyone else is doing.
Vlad will head there with you. Vlad's gonna head to town to join the expedition and also to see if any of the vendors have gunpowder for ammunition.
Alright.
It's funny, I'm also looking for gunpowder, but I'm seeing if it's being imported or exported.
You guys will need to definitely get that imported onto the island because there's no one on the island that has it at the moment.
That's good to know.
And Jason, what are you doing?
How is Vlad doing on gunpowder, by the way?
I'm low if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you reckon if you had to, you'd be able to make maybe about 5 or 6 more bullets?
And right now I've got 24 rounds for my rifle and 10 for my pistol.
Yep.
So if there's any gunpowder at one of the merchants in the town, I'm gonna try to buy some.
Yeah, you don't find any.
With the help of Arata, of course, since I'm not gonna speak to people I don't know.
Yep.
Through mental
I'm gonna
communication.
fucking just hold your hand too. Fuck.
Well, I'm gonna have you go buy it with my coin, since I
I
don't
know.
trust
I've
people.
just given you shit.
But the problem there is that there's nothing to buy.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to talk to Alphonse.
Given I've already called, given I've already sent word to Gabriel Ent's merchant civilization or merchant organizations, probably going to see them start flooding the shoreline. Adding gunpowder to that might be tricky, given how uncommon it is.
Maybe we'll find the stuff to be able to make gunpowder on this expedition.
That would be an incredibly valuable export, so let's hope so. But before the sun rises too high, we should get started on that expedition, gathering up just the essential crew members and heading out. Basically, anybody that can't hold a weapon or survive in combat stays behind at the camp.
I don't think Tanya's waking up.
Tanya is in popcorn right now, forging at the forge.
Well, I think regarding the situation with Zeta, since for you this seems to be extremely uncommon for him, you can either just remote
Whenever,
control him or just
well, sometimes I'll keep control of the characters, but I have something planned for him, so I'm just saying she stays behind to hold the fort. Since having all of the combatants go out to explore, he feels that she feels that at least one person of combat status should stay behind just in case.
fair enough.
Because, I mean, if you leave the fort completely undefended with nothing but, workers, and someone does decide to, gain revenge on you for murdering their comrades for whatever reason, someone would be there to defend the fort. But, I mean, you guys haven't had any conflict with anyone, so I don't know what you're worried about.
Yes, there definitely wasn't like a merry band of muggers tried to take our shit the other day.
Nah, everyone on the island loves you guys and wants to give you candy.
I love candy.
I'm sure it helps that I'm a walking bandit bait.
Yeah, that always helps.
Well, guys, let's get headed into the interior of the island, if but just a little bit at a time.
So are you guys going on the scheduled expedition with the Lady Maria and the guards, or are you guys going on your own?
This is a private expedition. We're going on our own.
Excellent.
Wow. Just way to call it out.
That's fine.
Are we
Like
gonna
he
go
doesn't
on?
want to harbor any goodwill with, or establish a good rapport with anyone. Just
Are we gonna follow the path of the
Making money
expedition
establishes a good
as
rapport with a lot of people.
Are we gonna follow the path of the expedition as like a scouting party ahead of the expedition, in hopes that we find things before them, and that way we get things before them. That way they don't find anything.
That's up to your fearless leader.
I'm trying to put that thought into his brain so that he looks like he's the fearless leader, but in reality, I'm the fearless leader and making all the decisions, but it looks like he is the voice of our party. You know what I'm saying? You
here's
know
the
what I'm saying?
base.
Alphonse, you notice that Vlad has a shitload of like puppet strings, and they're all tied to your arms and legs. Might be a good idea to kill him. No.
What the fuck are these strawberries doing on my nipples? I need them for the fruit salad.
God damn it, Chuck.
Well, let's see. There's 4 of us.
Mm-hmm.
The expedition party is not going to be far behind. I say they're exploring into the woods, aren't they?
Yes.
What are our other options?
Well, there's when you guys see the island, you realize that the woods are pretty darn thick, but according to several scouts that have come back, there are some clearings that come up past the woods into some fields and whatnot, and the mountain range just goes like straight up, and that goes into kind of rocky wilderness terrain. It's kind of hard to identify a lot of the terrain because no one's gone that far.
How big is the scouting party? Or yeah, the other scouting party.
The other scouting party consists of Lady Maria, Sylvia, and 10 heavily armed knights.
So they're gonna be traveling a whole lot slower than us.
Especially if they're going through the woods, they're going to be breaking for every clearing they can get. So alternatively, we're going to head into the densest woods possible. Only 4 people can move pretty quickly.
Yep.
That way, we're not interfering with the official expedition, and we're also making our own path, making our own way.
Oh, there you go.
Also, I think I'm close enough to be able to hear if Sylvia needs help, because I think she can maintain a mental link with me.
Do you want to try?
Yeah. I could do a 300-meter maintain of a mental link.
Okay. You feel massive amounts of resistance, but then after a while, you hear Sylvia's voice pop in your head, and she says, "Oh, hello, Vlad."
Hello, Lady Sylvia.
What can I do for you today?
Just maintaining a mental link with you, just in case you guys come into trouble. We can come to your assistance while we're out doing our own thing.
Oh, of course. I'll definitely be in touch.
I wish you good luck.
I wish you good luck as well.
And gentlemen, if we need assistance, I can call upon Lady Sylvia and her group to get here, although they will be a lot slower to respond than us to them.
Yep.
We should try to remain prepared to move quickly in case we run into any trouble that we can't handle. Of course, we're a group of elites. There's not going to
Agreed.
be any trouble that we can't handle, correct?
Yes, that's always how it goes.
Also, I feel like in case we do run into trouble, we should position ourselves into a position of defense on the high ground, in a position that we can hold out until reinforcements from the other group come.
I'm sorry,
As long-
Vlad. It's over. Your enemies have the high ground.
As long as we can all climb trees, we should be fine.
Oh, sorry, Alphonse. Vlad lost both of his arms and legs because he didn't have the high ground. You're gonna have to carry him.
Arata's going to have to carry him.
Leave it. I don't want to touch that.
I'm just going off of battle tactics right now. You know, failure to plan is to plan to fail. But no plan ever survives first contact with the enemy. So, adapt and overcome.
Yep. You guys are all gonna be ruptured ducks anyway.
Well, let's not hesitate any longer. Let's get a move on into those woods.
You step past the boundary line and die instantly. Congratulations. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see here.
As the DM pulls out his 500-page book of possibilities.
You have no idea.
Oh, I have every idea.
Yeah, I played with Chuck. I have a very good idea.
Just opening up the map a little bit. So you continue on as the towering trees, hundreds upon hundreds of feet up, almost block out the sunlight as you start approaching the inner portion of the woods. You notice that the grass becomes thicker, and the dampness and moisture in the air also increases, and you realize that it's actually not much of a lush northern forest as it is more of a swamp. As you get deeper and deeper into the woods, you notice that the moisture becomes so intense that there are actually some swamp fills throughout the area.
Fantastic. I'm going to. I imagine since I'm the ranger, I'm going to be up front. So I'm going to do a little notice. Fuck me.
Still a damn good notice.
I'm blind!
So you look around and you realize that everything kind of just looks pretty vague and very blank. You don't really see anything that stands out to you.
Now, so this is kind of the same thing. Would you allow like a key detection roll in this instance?
Sure.
Hey, Sarge, what's in the background when you're speaking?
The Avengers.
That's really high pitched.
High pitch. Wait, is it the whirring? You hear like a whir?
I hear something really high pitched, like a whirring, high pitched.
Oh, that's my fucking fan. Hold on. How's that?
Better.
Nope. Alright, so 198.
You look around, and as you're scouring these woods, the vision starts to become much clearer, and you can see the energies flowing. You can see green physical life energy flow through the ground beneath your feet in large tendrils. You can see the green life patterns flow up through the trees and into the small bushes that surround the area. And you can also see some hints of blue and yellow flow throughout the watery areas. And you can see some key auras of some creatures, some deer, some squirrels, muskrats, fish, other very simple creatures. The overall aura of the forest is very green and calm. Nothing really stands out to you.
Alright. I'm just going to put this down as a mental note for venison. Alright, then. I'll let him know. Everything seems pretty normal.
Would every single person go ahead and roll me a notice check?
Oh shit. Roll again, boy.
It's plus what I just rolled, right?
Just
Yeah,
1D, 1D100.
now you just roll 1d100.
So I rolled just a 1d100 plus what I had.
You just roll 1d100 plus 117, yeah. Alright, so let's see here. So Arata and Dracovius notice this, but as you get deeper into the swamp, if you will, you start to notice remains, and these look like remains of people who have gone in before. you'll see scraps of clothing and bones from corpses that have been left alongside the road here.
Mhm.
Most all the valuables and whatnot seem to have been scourged.
Damn. It's like you're reading my mind.
Heh.
I'll relay this to Vlad and Alphonse. But you said a road. Is this like a road that's kind of been, just a path that's been taken often, or is this like a genuine like clearing in the middle of the swamp road?
It's a road that's been traveled. Obviously, it's got a lot of, signs that people have gone down it, but it's definitely not per se a professional path.
Okay. See, I will do a search check, see if I can glean any more info.
You find a little interesting side note that eventually, after looking around, you think you spot a cave.
Ooh. And whereabouts is this cave in relation to us?
It's about, slightly north of you, over to the left. You can just barely kind of see the uprise of it, but it's a pretty decent sized one. Looks like it goes right into a little, not necessarily outcropping of the mountain, but a little, kind of indention.
All right, and then there's a cave there, and you say it's pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do another roll for tracking and see if there's like any clear indication that whatever was here went over there.
There are a lot of footprints going towards the cave, back and forth. Humanoid.
Okay.
I have a much more obscure interest. I'm going to ask if anyone can tell if this swamp has any signs of volcanic activity beneath it. Long extinct or otherwise.
How would you roll for that?
That would be knowledge history or knowledge geography.
So sciences or navigation.
Sciences would work here.
I don't have either one of those.
Dracovius is all of them.
Wait, what? Which roll?
Mr. Dracovius, you can roll a science roll to help answer your comrade's question. And that's a crit.
Nice.
Dracovius, you find something a little bit alarming when you start testing the water of some of the little pools you guys are seeing. They have a very high mercury rating.
I will urgently relay that to the three of them.
Fantastic. Now stand up before you get yourself killed.
I'll mentally communicate to Aretta. Don't drink the water.
And I'm just gonna learn a little quick back. Water. Yeah. Sweet. That's awesome. I didn't even. Yep. Woo. There you go, man. You got fucking skills to fill the deficit. It's great. Because I'm not a knowledge dude.
He ain't smart.
I have average intelligence, I'll have you know. Alright, so now I'm not a fucking scientist. What does a high mercury content mean?
High mercury is very, very poisonous.
Well, yes, mercury is poisonous.
And
But
almost uninhabitable. And it's usually uninhabitable except by a very specific life.
got it.
It's also fairly valuable.
Yep.
So what we need to do here, as far as I'm concerned, is get people out here that can separate mercury from the water sources and collect it.
That's your ballpark, Chuck. Don't even talk to me about doing it.
No, we'd need equipment for that.
So then how would one stake a claim in this mercury?
I'll take care of that. The Hendel people can take care of this nasty mercury problem.
There's nothing nasty about it. It's pure profit.
Shush you, it's nasty poison to those commoners.
Those commoners can't afford the equipment to extract mercury.
And the Hendel people can. I'll take care of the mercury.
Actually, the Hendel people probably can't. Hendel's not exactly a wealthy nation.
I have been sent here to secure profit for the Hendel nation.
It's at this point you guys realize that you are pretty deep into these woods.
Well, yes, that was the point, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Does anyone in here have warrior sense or alertness?
Warrior sense or alertness?
What would that be under?
It's under like danger sense or stuff like that.
Is that like an advantage?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
Let me take a look.
I do not. So I'm out of luck.
All right.
No, I can just see supernatural, see key, and do pretty good on my notices.
The light that you guys are provided through the little cracks in the trees is starting to dim.
I do have free access to any psychic discipline as an advantage.
Yes, but you have to spend points on the discipline and then points on the powers. Free access to any psychic discipline just means that you can have psychic powers.
Oh. Okay. So what's going on? The light's coming through the trees?
And it's dimming.
And we haven't been out here very long.
Now about half an hour.
Oh, that's fine. Lovely.
That's no bueno.
Well,
Now would be a good time for everyone to hide.
hide. Hold on then.
He said hide, so I did a hide roll. Nice hide roll.
Though, as I am hiding, I will cast See in Darkness on myself, and most likely Arata if I can.
Okay.
I have night vision, so I don't have to worry about that.
All right, so you guys all take cover and hide.
Except for Arata? Question mark?
Well, Arata doesn't do a very good job. He kind of tries to. Everyone else takes a bush. Arata's like, I'm going to hide behind that rock, and it's not exactly the best rock to hide behind.
Is he hiding behind a pebble?
And after a while, you guys all bunker down and you listen. You guys can hear from the far north of the tree line a crashing, like kind of like something crashing through the brush.
Mhm.
After about another half hour or so of just sitting here, though, nothing comes into vision.
We'll do a key detection.
Holy
Fuck me.
shit.
Oh, that's okay. I was almost at the cap anyways.
You focus very intently on the northern area where you heard the sound. And you can't really seem to see any auras, but you get a sense of an aura of orange, which represents hunger.
Where was the representation chart? Was it in Dominus?
Yeah, Dominus. On the ordinary color spectrum for emotion, orange is often represented by greed, so I figured that would be the best one for hunger.
I'm gonna assume that he relays this information to us.
Just hold on now. I'm saying I'm not looking for those fucking colors. But yeah, I'll tell them about it.
Does he get a general direction of where the aura is coming from?
General direction's still north.
Where the sound is?
Mm-hmm.
Doing a tactics roll to figure out if there's any places that provide a tactical advantage for us in that direction for an ambush.
Well, it's pretty thick in here. The best thing you could probably hope to do is find a thicket and find an area that's, shall we say, not so thick and provide cover from there, but that's about it. It's kind of hard to really set up an ambush here because it's almost a universal place to set up an ambush.
I was thinking like a Vietnamese style ambush in the jungle type of deal.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is that if you keep heading north, you're heading actually thicker into the woods away from the trail. So there's not really much clearing. So if you did an ambush, you'd have to kind of sit and wait for it to come to you. If you're going to go out to get it, there's not much you can do in terms of an ambush. Because it's getting even thicker when you go out north.
Is it coming closer towards us from the sounds?
It sounded like it was going past.
Is it close enough to see if it does pass?
You're not sure. It hasn't. It's gotten a little bit closer, but you still haven't seen any signs of what's making the sound.
I say we wait for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should, with my tactics roll, pick the best tactical locations for us to lie in wait in ambush here and wait for it to come into visual range of us. And if it is hostile towards us, we can attack it in an ambush position where we're at.
Right. See, the problem with that though, was that you did your roll, and this whole area is prime for ambush. So there's not much reason to move or do much of anything until it passes.
Yeah, but with my tactics roll, it pretty much lets me.
It doesn't let you do anything, man. It's basically telling you you're in the best spot.
Okay. Okay.
So, I guess we're all waiting.
You wait and wait. It takes about an hour before anything starts to happen, but you notice the crashing has become unbelievably close now. But then it stops for a dead 5 minutes, and you hear nothing. And then you hear more crashing, slightly smaller, like something coming through the brush rather than something per se crashing through the brush. And in a small clearing by one of the pools that you guys have all managed to kind of hide around, you see a humanoid figure step out and take a look at the pool. I'll get you guys a picture in just a sec.
From my bush, I have my rifle trained on it, just in case.
Is that thing standing over a shark?
No.
Psst.
Yes. Okay, hon, in just a sec. Can you hear me, honey? Just a sec, hon. So I will be right back while you guys decide what to do about this new entity. Be right back.
I've got my rifle trained on it from the bush.
Right. And, well, we're not going to fucking Pocahontas this, so don't just fucking shoot it.
We're gonna be doing more of an Overwatch with it while we figure out what we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an idea. Vlad has a free psychic point and already has affinity with the telepathy discipline.
Gosh.
Mm-hmm.
You could take the mind reading power with that point, either temporarily or for one go, or permanently, and just spend that point altogether. And you could try to read the mind of whatever it is.
Where's a bot?
I like it.
Mind
to
reading
do
would
that-
actually come in handy pretty frequently.
To do that, how do I do that on my character sheet?
It depends. Do you want to use that ability just once, or do you want to take it permanently?
Permanently.
Then give me 1 second, and I'll add it to your powers.
Because that'll come in handy a lot. Especially with all the random people that we come in contact with. And with a base of 80, they're going to have to do a resistance roll of 100 each time, no matter what.
All right, I have it added to your power.
Sweet. Then when he comes back, I'll still have my rifle train on him, but I'll also read his mind, see what his thoughts are. And that's a potential roll, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And you will have to roll projection first, so hoping he's close enough to you.
30 feet.
Roll well.
Oh God, what's that mean,
Come-
Chuck?
Cover me.
He doesn't have very good projection.
I have 10 points for projection and 80 points for potential.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. So we have a decision on what I'm gonna do. I spent the psychic point that I was given, on mind reading for a permanent out of mind reading, and I'm going to do a projection roll and then a potential roll to read his mind.
Well, you do a potential roll first to see what you can do, and then you project to actually target the person.
Okay, so what do I do now?
Look on the table. Does a 100 get you fatigue or actually get you something about the ability?
Between 80 and 120 is all it says is psychic resist of 100.
Okay, so you roll a psychic potential, so you've at least got, you've at least activated your power. Now roll a psychic projection against him. But yeah, he's going to have to beat that roll to resist your mind reading. Okay, so you succeed.
Yes, that's exactly what you needed to get him into range.
Yep. So when you try to read his mind, it's completely blank. Other than the utter need to kill.
So does that mean I failed the mind reading or I passed the mind reading?
You passed the mind reading.
Okay.
But basically what you hear is kill, 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 kill.
Okay. So I'm going to let Alphonse and Arata know that all he wants to do is kill. The basic instinct to kill.
Well, this actually gives me two little bits of information. Because if he hasn't spotted you after reading his mind, it means he can't see matrices.
Well, let me give you a third bit of information.
It's all red.
He's hostile.
And he doesn't see us yet, correct?
Doesn't seem to.
Well, then let's put this miserable piece down and continue on.
Before he did that, or y'all decide to Pocahontas this shit, do I see any more red behind him? And this is why we ask questions, boys. That's a lot.
And it's still dark out, right?
Mm-hmm. Dim.
No. So, you're good. Dracovius is good. Dracovius got me, so I'm good. The only one who would be at a penalty here is you, Chuck.
And all of us are hidden except for essentially Arata.
And actually, since Alphonse can see matrices, I'd actually argue that he could at least target without penalty here.
Fair enough.
Which is precisely what I'm going to do, because we're all currently hidden.
So, what's it called? Fuck him up?
Well,
Fuck them up and
actually,
keep them as far...
Vlad, Alphonse, and Dracovius will get a surprise round. Arata will not.
It's alright.
Because your hide was so miraculous.
It's okay, dude. I'm bad at this. I can.
The one across the little pool looks straight up at Arata, and the slits in its mask glow bright red, and it shouts an ear-shattering scream out that echoes throughout the whole forest. And with that,
Before it can shout, I would like to try and silence it quickly.
Go ahead. I'll count this as your surprise.
My name's Chuck. I'm gonna try and rip its mouth off. Welcome to Anima.
Uh-oh.
Damn it, Chuck.
He can reach out and touch somebody.
Fucking right he can.
So it has to be the physical resistance of 120.
That's the projection. And the potential. Yeah.
Yeah, I accidentally rolled projection first, so that's the attack roll.
Congratulations, Chuck. You played yourself. Unless you have inhumanity.
Primary skills aren't affected by inhumanity. I mean, it's unaffected by inhumanity or Zen.
Really?
Secondary skills.
Oh. Damn, so you can totally just make that godlike sword strike that makes you a god. If everyone's watching it. Good to know.
Huh. Well, you hit him with the...
There's his potential roll.
I know, well, he resists, but you hit him, so I'm wondering what happens here. I'll go ahead and say he takes a little bit of damage from this, because you hit him with the projection.
But he passed the physical resistance?
Yes.
So I'm a little confused here. Since his potential was 189, but it did fumble somehow. Or
No, it didn't fumble. It was just a 49. Potential rolls show up funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm going to say is, I'm just going to go ahead and say it still did a quarter damage since you hit him. And I'll go ahead and calculate that here with his fatigue. So when he looks up, he's about to shout, and you hit him with shatter. And it goes, and it kind of like, what the? And part of its arm is now bleeding profusely. And with that, it's going to be initiative.
Is this a Bloodborne song?
Yep.
Cool. Damn, I'm good. I ain't even played Bloodborne.
You are welcome to put your initiatives in the turn order. So I'm going to say the guy across the pool that Alphonse hit is a bit kind of shaken up, and his initiative is going to go down because he got whacked.
That's an adorable little snail you put on him.
Wait, doesn't Alphonse not have the surprise though?
Well, Alphonse used his surprise action, so I'm going to go
Or
ahead and
not-
say
Not Alphonse, Barada.
Arata does not have a surprise action. But what I'm going to do is, instead of giving you guys an extra action, Vlad and Dracovius will get a plus 30 bonus to any attack or offensive action they do against these guys for this turn.
Okay.
since they are unaware of you guys. So first up in the turn order, though, is going to be Alphonse.
And I should still be hidden because matrices are invisible.
That is correct.
I'm going to aim at the closest guy.
All right.
Which one's that? That one? Is it that one, Nick? You're aiming at?
Okay, he failed by 5. Roll psychic projection. All right. Is there any addition to shadow for how much he failed by, or is it a flat damage?
It's damage equal to double the rate of failure, and he takes an automatic critical.
All right. So he takes an automatic critical, and he failed by 5. So how much damage has he taken?
He takes 10 damage.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a d100, please.
Not bad.
His arm is crippled. All right, Alphonse, is there something else you wish to do?
I'm going to remain in my hiding spot.
Okay.
And that'll be the end of my turn.
Arata, this one jumps across the pool and attacks you.
Oh boy.
And probably fails miserably. That's enough for a counterattack, big boy. Barely.
What is it? Plus 10?
Nothing. It is literally a flat attack roll.
Okay. Yeah, fuck it. I'll attack him.
And counterattack is based on the first initial attack, correct? Or do they roll again? If I remember correctly.
Counterattack does use an active action. So
Yes.
you can only do as many attacks as you would declare at the beginning of your turn.
I know, I'm just saying that when he does a counterattack, is the difference in attack and defense measured by the first attack, or does the person getting counterattacked actually get to roll a defense?
The person getting counterattacked actually rolls a defense.
Very good. All right, so Arata roll an offense, normal, and he'll roll his defense. Okay, 30% weapon damage.
Yeah, shit. I don't think I fucking. I should have. I know I should have just fucking hopped on this. No momentum.
So while you're looking for that, I'll say he's a little bit gored because he got hurt. So with that, it is Arata's turn since he just counterattacked. So Arata, you have 2 actions since you used one to counterattack. If you like Arata, you can hold action.
For the sake of keeping things flowing, yes, I will hold my actions for now.
Okay, so Arata will go defensive. Dracovius, you're up.
I'm going to attack the guy in front of Arata.
All right. You may actually step back one and attack him from reach if you want.
Yeah, that would be the best idea.
Is someone getting murdered in your home?
No, that's my brother's game.
Go ahead and roll me offense, Dracovius.
Any modifiers to it? Because I know you said about the plus 30 thing.
Yeah, you're getting a plus 30 because he doesn't know you're there. So modifiers would be plus 30 and then you click on the attack, yeah. So yeah. Alright. Oh, holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah, this will be 200% weapon damage. So, yeah, he gets impaled with the halberd.
Are you trying to take my title from me of Vlad the Impaler?
Dracovius, you have, I think, 2 more actions left. So you may do as you please here.
I'm going to move up, so I'm going to attack the next.
Alright. Go ahead and roll me your attack roll, except this time the modifier is going to have a minus 25? Yeah. Alright, he manages to dodge that, but he does not get a counterattack. As you stab one and then charge out of the bushes at the other, he sees you coming and manages to avoid your attack. So you have one more action.
I'm gonna hold, actually.
Alright. Vlad, you're up.
I'm gonna move back here. And take a shot at the guy that Dracovius just tried to shoot. Or tried to attack, rather.
Plus 30 for this first attack. Yeah, that's going to be a mass critical. He's going to die. Very nice. You hit him square on. What do you wish to do now?
Now, if I hide where I'm at, does that make me go back to where they can't see me?
If you roll a hide, that'll cost you an action, but it will give you an advantage, yeah.
Okay.
At least if they fail their perception checks.
And then that'll be done for me.
Okay, so 2 of them don't see you, but the other 2 see you.
Which 2 do see me? Well, shit.
Okay.
Alphonse, would you roll me a physical resistance check, please?
I was hoping
One
to
moment.
shoot. I was hoping to shoot and then go back to hiding, then shoot and go back to hiding, then shoot and go back to hiding.
Well, to be fair, Vlad, he crit on his perception roll to find you.
Yeah.
He's like, aha, there he is.
Looks like 2 of them did.
Yeah, it's like, aha, he's over there. Which I guess makes a little bit of sense. Your weapon isn't exactly silenced.
How's my physical resistance?
That's pretty good. You feel like these creatures are putting out some kind of aura that's affecting you. But you shake it off. And now these two are going to attack Vlad.
Shit.
Since I've been holding on to my actions, can I do an intervention?
Yeah, I'll say you can do an interrupt. You can at least interrupt one of them.
Since I still have one move action left, I can do a move fast to another spot, right?
No, because you didn't activate the power. Because you got to activate the power and roll it, and then you do it. Not to mention you shot, moved, and then rolled a hide, so that's all your actions up.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty. Let's see. Oh man, this damage is disgusting.
You had to move there to attack him.
Yes. Oh, dear God, it's even worse than I thought.
That's your base damage with the Nodaichi two-handed?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Is that with increased damage on?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So, I will attack. Well, that was something.
Yeah, that's going to be an insta-kill.
Chuck, I can kind of see why you would be getting a little hard on if someone were to be dual wielding Nodachis.
By the way, would, since you just killed that thing, would Alphonse, Arata, and Vlad roll me a physical resistance check again?
Yes.
Okay, so everyone except for Arata. So Alphonse and Vlad take 2 mental damage. Or mental fatigue, sorry.
How do I do that?
I believe there's a marker. If you can't mark it, then just put under fatigue or health, just put modifier -2, or you can just keep a mental note of that.
Would that be like the electricity bar or the?
I honestly don't know with these new sheets.
I want to say for the purposes of this, I would put it in the one that looks like a fucking heart monitor. Vlad.
And then when you are ready, Vlad, that is an attack against you that you may try to dodge.
right. I think these guys are just savages, but if not in the future, this Nodachi does -2 to 18.
I think I dodged it.
That's enough to counterattack with your rapier with a +50 if you want. Alright. Alright, so that'll be 40, so you deal 5 damage to him. As you kind of poke him as you dodge away. Like, don't touch me.
Really? Only? Oh, right, because his damage is like 40.
So Dracovius, this one will be versus you. You may roll block.
Jeez.
Damn, yeah, you may roll block or dodge, whichever's better. Okay. So Dracovius take 35 damage. As he gets you pretty good with that sword of his.
Okay.
And then this one will let out a little bit of a roar. So would Errata and Alphonse once again roll me a physical resistance check. Okay, so Alphonse, you're fine, but this time Errata take 2 mental fatigue. And to save trouble, I'm just going to shoot everything back up to the top. Alphonse, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna start by using the flight that I had set to maintain last session, and I'm gonna get the fuck away from these guys, even if it means going straight up into the canopy.
Alright.
And then I'm gonna hammer down on the closest guy next to me.
Okay. Okay, he fails. Yeah, so that's definitely going to be enough to kill him. Alphonse, would you roll another physical resistance for me, though, even up in the canopy? Okay, so take 1 mental fatigue.
Yay, I'm starting to take fatigue penalties.
Errata, you're up.
Ready? Alright. I'm going to move behind the fuckboy that is focusing on Vlad. I will roll attack.
%120 weapon damage.
170. What is that like?
He is,
Calculator.
yep, he is bloodied. So he is actually going to go and respond. $181 versus you.
I will spend a 1 fatigue point from the mana core pelt.
Not quite enough for a counterattack, but you blocked him.
Yep, head zone.
Dracovius, you're up.
I'm going to step back one and attack.
Go for it. So it is a dead zone. He manages to dodge, but he does not get to counterattack. You have a couple more attack actions if you want to try them. Each one will do a successive minus 25 to each attack.
I'm going to try one more.
All right, minus 25 to this one.
Minus 25, you said?
Yes. And of course he crits. Granted, he's not within range of his weapon, so he can't do his counterattack. So you poke him, dodge, you poke him again, he does an extreme dodge that would have easily put you into a counterattack distance, but because you have reach, he can't get you. So with that, it's back to Vlad. Point blank him.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a shot point blank on the guy next to me.
Plus 30. Oh yeah, you kill him. Boom. And I'll go ahead and turn it back to Alphonse.
Do I have more turn?
Oh,
Action?
yeah. What am I saying? You have another action, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna claim that I'm taking a steady aim at the farthest guy away from me as my final action.
Okay. And then you're going to save your other one?
Yes.
Okay. You'll notice this guy is starting to glow a bit red. And it's Alphonse's turn.
The guy glowing red looks like a threat. Let's put him down. No. That actually backfired.
So how much fatigue do you take?
2 points and hold on.
Okay.
I also lose 11 LP.
Hey!
Damn. So this is the power of the psychic.
Yeah,
Ouch.
my psychic powers backfired on me pretty hard.
Go Team Marshall.
Can you still maintain your levitation?
Yes, no, my maintained powers are innate. They stay maintained even if I
Yeah,
fall asleep.
I was gonna say that'd be a lot of falling damage.
No, they will remain even if I pass out.
All right.
That must be fucking nice.
So you think you have a couple other actions if you wish to declare them. If you wish, anyway, Alphonse.
I'm going to get behind the rest of my group because not only am I now completely exhausted, I'm also hurting myself with my own psychic powers backfiring. I am utterly offenseless.
All right, Arado, you're up.
Let's see. My handy dandy ruler here. Alrighty. I will charge. Well, I think you're Covius. You got it, don't you, Jason?
What, the last guy?
Yeah.
Debatable.
Well, he did start glowing red.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't want to be anywhere near that, so I'm just gonna. I want to say. And this guy's
I'm
still alive,
holding.
right?
Yeah, and I'm holding an aim on him right now. I'd
Right.
say help out Dracovius with the glowing red guy.
Oh, yeah, but if he explodes, he's.
Vlad, you may take a shot at the other guy because the other guy's falling into the water.
You want me to take a shot on him now?
Yeah. Plus 10. Yeah, so you shoot him, but he falls into the water.
Fantastic. He killed himself.
Alright, so back to Arado if you want to do anything.
Alright.
I assisted
Have you
him
been
with
hit?
his suicide by drowning.
Jason, have you been hit?
Yeah, I got hurt once.
Okay. That was for like 35, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, I will.
And I apologize, Dracovius. I completely forgot to ask about your armor, but I doubt it would have done that much, so my bad. Because I don't even think Dracovius has much armor on right now.
Okay, so I want to do like a combination attack bot.
Mm-hmm.
I want to charge him, and because he's glowing red, after I hit him, I want to kick him with like athleticism
Sure.
or something.
You may do so. You have the actions to do it.
Fantastic.
And actually, you wouldn't roll in athleticism. You'd go ahead and attack him with your first attack. And then as a kick, it would be another awkward action. So you would do a minus 25, minus 5, so it would be a minus 30. So you'll do your normal attack with no penalties, and then you'd roll a second attack with a minus 35.
Okay.
As if it was unarmed. All right. So he fails, but with that damage of yours, that's going to be enough to kill him.
All right. So now I need to kick him away.
Go ahead and roll. Jesus Christ, you do a falcon kick on him. He actually goes so far, you actually lose track of his body in the bushes.
Style leaves much to be desired, though.
It was very sloppy kick.
I would have thought you would be like, you attempt a falcon kick, but you fall back on your back while kicking him off your sword.
All right.
And with that, combat is over.
Good form, everyone. I'll do like a little clap. Good job.
Now I need to immediately retreat.
Oh, if he wants to leave, I want to take one of these corpses with me.
Sure thing.
Not before looting all of them. Go me.
Alright, I'll give you guys a basic rundown of loot. All of their, they almost have no armor on. Their swords are all very crude, almost like they're carved out of stone. And their masks are all cracked now that they're dead. No, no magic or other items seem to emanate from them. A couple of them have daggers on them. One of them does seem to have a badge on him. It seems to be like a mark of office or something, but none of you recognize it.
Alright, I'll take that badge. I will take a mask and take a corpse.
Arata, we should bring the gear and weaponry of one of the soldiers back to the town for that lady.
Why? It's stonework.
For that lady cop.
Plus, you never know. I mean, you never know what you can get.
I'll definitely take those daggers. I'll take a couple of swords.
We're going to hold on to that equipment, and we're not turning it over to the Fionese authorities. We're going to wait for Gabriel to establish law, and then hand it over to Gabriel.
Do I need to remind you that Gabriel law sucks?
Do I need to remind you that Gabriel is your patron nation, and that if you want a paycheck, you'll probably stop criticizing it?
You started it. Like, oh no, IDs. Oh, somebody help us. They're not doing nothing. Holy shit.
Exactly, they're not paying us.
No. No. Oh no, IDs, territory expansion, Technical terms, things that will never happen.
Nonetheless, nothing is out and attacking you. You guys gathered the supplies fairly efficiently, and you may head back if you guys wish to retreat.
Guess we're heading back.
Retreat is no longer in my vocabulary.
Have fun dying.
I have no problem with advancing in another direction. I just don't retreat.
Advance in the direction of the camp.
Chicken.
I mean, at this point, Alphonse is like sweating, exhausted, and has a minor nosebleed.
At this point, I am going to break my silence to Dracovius, enter his mind, and say, Dracovius, make the world dark to Alphonse so that he walks into a tree.
Dracovius will chuckle at the thought and contemplate it for a second. And actually do it, just for fun.
Okay, Alphonse, go ahead and roll me a magic resistance check. Well, the world around you guys was already dark, so you made it slightly darker. So really nothing happened.
What a shame.
If anything, this covers you guys' retreat.
But now he's gonna walk right into a tree.
You're all gonna walk into trees if you don't watch where you're going.
I can see
It's
perfectly.
dark.
This is the normal darkness. This is advanced darkness.
Exactly. This darkness has increased initiative.
So is his darkness the dark, like his darkness he only cast on Alphonse?
Well, he did, but it's still in an area of effect. So the area you guys were in was already pretty dark, and now it just gets slightly darker, which it was getting anyway because the sun
Okay.
is going down.
Okay, so if we're outside the area that he affected, I would have the night vision.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm okay with that. Alphonse can run into trees face first.
Yeah, your night vision doesn't work when you're actually being attacked by physical darkness magic. It just works when you want to see in the dark. But needless to say, nobody runs into any trees. Alphonse is still conscious enough to not actually run into a tree with his sight. And you guys all make it back to your camp. Actually, thanks to Mr. Dracovius, if anything wanted to follow you guys, it'd have to go through that patch of utter darkness.
Having made it back to the camp, I need to immediately write to a business partner, whoever may have responded to my previous night's letters.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to say?
We need guardsmen in addition to my current crew in order to set up a mining operation in that swamp.
Excellent.
Mercury denotes a volcanic basin, which means that soil is rich in minerals, up to and including gold.
Chuck, remind me why you didn't go to fucking college. I really want to fucking know.
I did go to college. I dropped out of college.
Alphonse, how much money do you have total right now?
$450 gold crowns.
Okay, to do a little bit of upkeep on payment and all that, would you please spend 250 of it for the messaging, the building, the hiring, and all that around, just as the upkeep? And yes, you send off the letter.
Huzzah for crew!
Yep.
Although, as far as personnel and raw materials go, 250 gets me a lot.
It really does. Mostly that's just to kind of, really almost all of that was just some basic resources like food and whatnot for the workers and paying off the workers.
Wealth disparity.
Yeah, I mean, my lackeys are of higher quality than normal, and they're still like 2 silver crowns apiece.
Gosh. I just want to let you guys know that Anima's money system gives me fucking connections every time.
I started with a lot of money.
I know, but when like
did
10
I.
crowns is like a person's yearly wage, you've got a fucking problem.
I make a lot
started
of
with
money.
A lot of money.
Anyway,
started
I'm
with a
setting
lot
up
of
a
money,
mining
and I still
operation
have.
so that we can drain that swamp dry of minerals and actually make some more bank.
Yes, yes. So now,
Plus enough guards to actually make sure that it stays in operation and profitable.
all right. So we're back at camp. Sorry, Chuck. I'm gonna be a bit of a dick. I'm gonna call meeting with Sylvia and Lady Maria.
prior to that, I am going to call you over to my Tentorada.
All right. It was 10.
Arata, I require your messengers.
My messengers. I don't have messengers.
I know that you have a way to communicate to your house back home.
Yes, the same way normal people do it. By mail.
I need you to hide a diplomatic missive within your letters to your home.
I see. Well, is this going to start a war?
It's to bring more Hendel resources to this island
Alright.
to start gathering the resources and to make money for the war that Hendel is starting to try to push.
I see. So, then the best I can give you is I will attach your missive and say, hey, take this to the embassy, the Hendelian embassy in Lynette. If there isn't one, send it to Fion, have someone at Fion send it to Hendel. That's literally the best I can do. I'm not
That
no one
works.
fancy.
That works. Just as long as you get someone you trust to get it into Hendel. For the king's eyes only.
Yeah. Alright. I will do that for you. Friend, oh buddy, oh pal.
And remember,
So,
the king has entrusted me to do this. You were there.
yeah. Yeah, I understand. So, get your letters ready and I'll send them in along with mine.
I already have them ready. They're right here.
Alright, I'll take them. And I'm going to go call a meeting with Lady Sylvia and Lady Maria. In the meantime, you guys decide what you're doing. I'm going to the bathroom.
So he's calling Fionese nobility into my camp against my orders, correct?
No, he's going out to meet with him.
I have a very special job for one of my lackeys.
Which is?
Something I probably need to discuss with the GM away from prying ears.
Can send it to me in Discord in a PM. By the way, you guys are friends in real life, right?
Who?
Yes, we are.
Oh, well.
We're all friends here, right? 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 I said, right, damn it.
Sure, let's go with that.
I just love the sarcasm in Dracovius' voice there. This is good because Jacovius can kind of heal himself up there, and everyone else can kind of regain.
That means I can regain my +2 to fatigue.
Yes. After about 4 hours of rest, you guys all regain your fatigues. To regain full health, Jacovius, you will need to at least rest up and patch for just a bit here, and I'll say within 4 hours your wounds are already getting healed.
Oh, if it's heal wise, like cuts and stuff, I can easily do that with one of my spells.
Excellent. I'll say you do it passively and you heal instantly then.
Okay.
Alright, I'm back. What did I miss?
Nothing. You go and you have your meeting with Maria.
Alright. Oh, I will. Are we like in another outpost, or how's it working?
Yeah, she meets you at kind of the edge of town.
Okay.
Where
Are there
the,
like any?
The scouting party, it takes about an hour and then the scouting party comes back. It looks like they went through a little bit.
Alright. So like a table nearby? Anything?
Yes.
Greet her and just gesture over the table. Let's get a little comfortable, and I will tell you what we found.
She says, I take it you ran into resistance like we did?
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly enough, I did not realize that this island had natives. Well,
Yes.
we've brought back a few of the bodies to examine. We'll get the details to you later.
Fantastic. Yeah. Our side of it wasn't terribly eventful. We just had what looked like a raiding party for around our area that we served. And from what I can tell, and this is just a hazardous guess, but they might have a means of transportation. And before we started fighting, there were very loud crashes. I myself could see something very hungry, and then it was gone. And then these guys showed up, and they were very
Crashes,
angry.
loud thrashing through the low brush, yes?
Yep.
We found claw marks on a tree that had been downed a few miles just from your position. We did not see anything come by, and we did hear the thrashing, although nothing came out at us. We were attacked by about a good 20 of these crazed individuals, and like I said, we are examining the bodies to see if anything unique about them, and I'll get you any details later.
All right, then. As long as we're all on the same page.
Of course.
For that ado, I'm going to go see Anya, because this is a part of the path to enlightenment. And I want to see some of her weapons, her swords that she's made, so I can start practicing with them.
Well, she hasn't really had a chance to make any swords with the time yet, but she has her sword that she wields, but then she has 2 claymores that you're welcome to fiddle around with.
Yeah, okay.
She's currently at the forge, and she's like, "Hello, Loretta."
Hello, Anya. How was your day?
Slow, but I am making some progress. I don't have all the materials I need to start building some of the weapons I desire, but a little bit has started to come in. How about yours? Anything eventful?
And I will describe all the things we went through today. But Alphonse found.
Damn it, I knew I should have come along. I knew it. I just knew there would be a fight. Damn it.
Wow, what could you do? We can get you in on the next one, the cave raid.
Well, at least we have some areas to start mining resources so I can start building some weapons.
Yeah, and on the topic of weapons, I was wondering if I could borrow one or two to practice with myself.
She says, well, heck, I'm not doing much without materials. Why don't I be your sparring partner?
So we're going to do this again. All right.
She says, we can use wooden swords if you like.
The one's modeled after the ones I want to train with. Yeah,
Of course.
fantastic.
So I'll go ahead and say you do some training with her.
All right, fantastic. What a good evening.
Does anyone else have any declarations?
Is there a way to improve my rifle at all? Or my skill with the rifle?
Hold on. Roll what's happening, and then I will. You can tell me what you're doing, Vlad. Okay. Zonturo, that action does succeed. I will tell you how well later. Vlad, what were you doing again?
Is there a way to make my rifle better or make my skill with my rifle better? Like for mastery of my rifle?
That takes, in all honesty, the only way to really do that is to level up. I'll eventually start giving you guys points here and there and stuff, but it's a very, very slow progression. Even if you were to say, I just have my character sit and practice, like, session after session after session after session, it would take, like, 5 sessions before anything started happening. Since you guys are already elite level, and then as you level up, you're just going past elite, and then into master, and then into legend, and then into basically godhood. So your character is already a badass with a rifle, so to become even more badass with a rifle takes a lot of time. And I do mean a lot of time. But yes, you may practice.
Okay, because I just want to make myself a little better. Because I was talking to Sarge about it. Because people were talking about at a specific point, shifting from what they are now into a more advanced class. And they said to talk to you about creating my own class. And I thought of like gunslinger assassin type of deal.
That can theoretically work. Usually I house rule it where when you hit level 3, I allow people to actually make their own class, and they just base it off of the model classes that you have. And it costs 20 points of DP when you level up at that point to transfer into it. But you get to set the parameters for the class as long as it's within the standard ratios. So when you guys hit level 3, you are more than welcome to do that.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. He already had it in mind.
Then I'll practice with my rifle, but I won't expend any rounds. I'll do what's called dry firing onto spring rounds to not wear out the firing pin.
Yep. You can also do, like, practice combat rolls and tactics and all that.
I'll do all of that.
Excellent. And you do.
I'll be practicing combat techniques along with dry firing my pistol and my rifle and working with my rapier and my bayonet. My bayonet on the rifle and off the rifle.
All right, excellent. Dracovius, is there anything you want to do?
Not particularly, no.
Okay. Dracovius will sit and meditate. So, Arata, as you're practicing with Tanya, you notice that it's odd. She's human. You know she's human. Even though her skin is pale white, you know she's human. And even though her ears are pointed almost like an elf, even though the elven race has been supposedly extinct for hundreds of years, she's human. But, god damn it, if she doesn't look human.
She looks so human. She's inhuman, such as the Nephilim life. Oh, we can put the footnote in that, and if Zeta wants to talk about it, it's up to him. That seems like a big deal, so I'm not going to let you take control of that. So.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me, I can take control of whoever I damn well please and make them do whatever I damn well want, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't do that because they're your characters, not mine.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, after a while, you have noticed that someone is indeed watching you.
Oh, Sylvia?
Oh, I thought my stealth was good that time.
Well, you have to do a little better against me.
Well, in lighter news, if we find a bit more herbs along the trail, I can set it up with your employer Alphonse to get you some herbal supplies.
Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to be doing that. Alphonse being a bit of a douche, so I don't think we ever went over that, did we?
Well, I haven't gotten the shop set up yet, but I'll let you know when I do get enough supplies.
Very well. Is there anything else, Lady Sylvia?
She ponders for a moment, and she says, "Well, I do enjoy your sparring sessions. Perhaps you'd like to go around with me."
Why not?
So
It makes sparring interesting.
Yep, so you do a little sparring with her, and she fights with a one-handed cutlass. So when she fights with the wooden sword, she fights in a one-handed stance. And she's pretty good.
What's it like, just stroking your own ego?
If you knew all the effort I put into this character during that campaign and all the bullshit I had to go through, yeah, you'd understand.
I get it.
I am perfectly fine with you guys stroking your own egos with your characters, especially once you get them leveled up. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as it's not showboating.
Yeah.
This is for story purposes, so I don't count it as showboating. But if my previous character stroking is annoying you guys, do let me know.
You good, man. All right. Well, how do I? Well, clearly a master. How am I stacking up?
She's clearly better than you, but you're able to at least keep up with her.
Fantastic.
You can clearly tell she really is a vampire now, because she's moving a lot faster. She's moving a lot faster than you.
That's great.
Am I allowed to pipe in?
Yeah?
Here. Lady Sylvia, is that you that I hear out there?
Yes, it is me.
By the way, I'm using my mental link that I still
Mhm.
have with her. May I, by chance, see you outside my tent?
Of course. She puts the sword down and gives a polite bow to Arata.
About that.
And you go back to training with Tanya, and she will go to the tent. Good evening, Vlad. How are you?
I'm well. Have you established a network on this island of sources that could keep an eye out of someone for me?
Not yet, but I could definitely ask around.
I'm looking for a person. I have this paper here with a rough description of what he looks like.
She takes the
Would you be able
picture.
to? Would you be able to keep an eye out for him? There could be a finder's fee involved for you if you help me locate him.
Of
I need you
course.
to help me locate him alive, and I'll take care of the rest from there.
Of course, Vlad. I'll see what I can do, and I'll keep my ears to the ground. I'll see if I can spot this man anywhere. Was there any indication of his background? Was he already here, or was he arriving? Do you know?
All I know is that that I could find him here on this island, and if you spot him, let myself or Arata know, and we'll take it from there.
She nods. Hunting wanted criminals, then.
Something like that. It's a long story that comes from my time when I was fighting in the wars up north.
She pauses and then nods slowly again. Says, very well then. I will bid you adieu, Vlad.
Thank you for your time, and remember, I must be alive, and there's a finder's fee involved for whoever brings me this man.
Of course, Vlad. I wouldn't think it any other way.
Thank you very much, lady.
She bows and then leaves. And it's with that you guys can make any kind of last minute declarations, and then I actually don't have a whole lot planned for the rest of this session. Most of it's coming up next session. But if you guys have any things you want to do last minute, I will go ahead and have you guys declare those, and then we can actually call it an early session tonight if you guys want.
All right, I'm good for whatever.
I'd like to properly introduce myself to Jacovius.
Oh shit, this has been a long time coming. For me, after training with Tanya, I'm going to, I want to say, meditate more on the last few days, mainly the possessed sword and other things like that.
Alphonse?
I believe I've already done what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Actually, if I could, I'd like to properly introduce myself to the entire party that's present with my full background, since I haven't really done that.
Alright.
properly.
So,
So,
since most of the other characters do know a little bit about your backstory, go ahead and give kind of a brief synopsis, and I'll count that as kind of all the characters coming together and just giving a little bit about themselves again, since they've been through combat together now at this point and know that they can at least trust each other with weapons nearby.
so the way I would do it is to get everybody together. I'd have Arata gather Dracovius and Alphonse, and I would link into everyone's mind and go get. And I would be wearing my fancy midnight black trench coat that I was given as the commander of the midnight trench coats. And I would go, "Good evening. I am Count Vladimir Eriks Pavlovich, commander of the midnight trench coats."
Okay. While you're in a pause there, Vlad, is this like a good chance to not only just reintroduce, solidify our connection to each other, but also like say more what we're about and how we intend on acting?
Sure.
Yeah, you guys can do that.
All right. All right, Vlad, carry on.
I am a veteran of the wars in Hendel. This is where I met Arata, and he came into my service before I was a count. I pulled him from death's bed, and we fought in the Battle of Munenberg, where we single-handedly captured the city of Munenberg for my king, and he awarded me the title of count and my own command of the Midnight Trenchcoats. None of you know my order. I will not go into depth about my order, but I am an expert marksman, and I scored strongly in the Dragon games. So that is who I am, what I am, and we have both served the King of Hendel honorably and faithfully, and I'm here to secure my family name as a new Count of Hendel. And I'm also here to secure more money for a coming war in Hendel, to secure the more homeland for Hendel, and that's why I'm here. And that's why it's so important for me to secure those minerals that are down there in those mines. So, again, I am Count Vladimir Eriks Pavlovich of the Midnight Trenchcoats, renowned sniper of Munenberg.
You killed my father. Prepare to die. No.
So then I will take the floor once again. You all know my name, Arata. A little about myself. I came from Lynette and traveled, and as Count said here, he saved me when I was traveling up north. After I incurred a life debt, I fought with him, and in those we took in that war we took Munenberg, we took Heimir, Redgafer, but ultimately, what my goal here is to not necessarily seek out advancements for my country. It's in order to secure a position for my house that would bring a great amount of respect to my personal family and a great sense of pride within myself. I seek enlightenment, but ultimately, I'm just another human. So while we're here, even though there are other representatives of different countries, I intend to share not everything, but enough information so that we can all help each other out. Because there's nothing here that we know about, other than what we discovered. And that's it for me.
I guess Dracovius will step forward and say, as you know, I am Dracovius. I, most of my life, have never fit in. My style of how I play through things is never what others have seen. I would say fitting. With the way my magic is, they thought of me as an outcast. So I'm here because I am looking for a place to fit in. I'm looking for friends and people to call my own, as to join. I am basically not just as you would think of as a soldier, but as, I guess, a brother in arms. And then I would step back.
Very good.
Fantastic. Is this beneath you, Alphonse?
No, but there's not much to tell of my legacy.
So yes, it is.
And of
My
course,
my father, Jacques Rousseau, died 3 years ago and left his entire fortune to his first son. Am I cutting out? Because my mic feels like it's cutting out.
a little bit, yeah.
My father, Jacques Rousseau, died 3 years ago and left his entire fortune to only his next of kin, which would be his firstborn son.
Is that you
Gabriel,
or not you?
that is me, Alphonse Rousseau. Gabriel society does not dictate the wealth of a does not dictate the worth of a family by its passing head, but more by its current sitting one. So I had to make my name as a merchant, generally from the ground up.
All right.
And here in 3 years, or here past these 3 years, I've earned my title of Baron and sit among the upper echelons of Gabrielan society. I'm not about to sacrifice that into cooperating with Fionese society in such a delicate operation as this one. So you'll have to pardon my hostility towards our approximate allies.
Fair enough.
Would you be willing to share in the profits of those minerals with Hendel allies?
Of course, and I would also love to help assist in the manufacture of more of those firearms that you use. I'm hoping that volcanic deposit beneath the swamp will yield saltpeter, which is a primary component in the manufacture of gunpowder.
Good, because with the assistance of Arata hiding diplomatic missives for me, I've sent messages to Hendel to send disguised Hendelese enforcers down here to establish a Hendel base of operations and other such things so that we could secure the mine and mining operation.
Damn, that's like 2 security teams for 1 mine.
So there's going to be Hendel support down here because that's money for the Hendel Warfront.
And I am internally grateful for your assistance, Count Vlad. Or would you prefer Count Pavlovich?
Vlad is fine unless we're in a formal setting.
Vlad, then.
Oh, Zeta, my sweet summer child.
Excellent. Characters have all come to a decent agreement.
No?
Not to mention
mean-
you found another potential resource.
Now, Alphonse, as far as funding for this expedition, I have considerable resources at my disposal, if the need arises.
We'll have to see what the initial survey for the mine yields, but if it should come down to it and the volcanic basin is much larger than we anticipated, we might need the extra manpower.
Yes, and Dracovius, apologies for holding back this long on communicating with you. I just didn't know where you stood as far as a true member of this team. I didn't know your true intentions. But I do know that you're a member of this team, and I know that your intentions are real, and you would sacrifice yourself for the good of the team. So welcome aboard. And I apologize for not communicating with you earlier.
No apologies necessary. I am actually used to being set out like this.
Very good.
And I do believe that's a rat.
We do have a few more things to do just really quickly here.
Mm-hmm.
What's your last name again, Arata?
Sakamoto.
Arata Sakamoto. You are
Swagamoto.
forming quite the amount of allies here.
Is this Lady Maria in my head again?
Nope.
No. It's not Sylvia.
Nope.
Well, I'm going to...
You actually notice, after you blink a few times, you're no longer in the camp. You're sitting on a stone in some kind of watery pool in some very dark cave with a beam of light coming down, kind of shining a little hole on the pool, like a hole through the roof.
And I fucking love being the protagonist.
No, hey, not to spoil anything, but if you really want to see some crazy drama go on, just wait till Alphonse gets back home.
I imagine we're all going to get our own little personal arcs. It's going to be great. I'm going to kill a couple hundred people from Urukabi and Oda. It's going to be awesome. Right. So, I'm now somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look around, see Supernatural, see if anything's glowing like a fucking Christmas tree.
Yeah. By the way, for the party, Vlad, Dracovius, and Alphonse, you just see Arata kind of sitting there in what looks like kind of a meditation sit. But back to Arata. What do you do?
I'm looking around with the See Supernatural and do a notice and key detection. You know, get the little trifecta going, or search, because I'm actively looking.
You literally cannot see anything outside that little beam of light.
Really? Oh, shit. It's like, well, yeah, these guys are great, but I don't know who you are. Zach, I don't even know where I am. I was just at the beach. Who are you?
You see a figure come down from the light.
Is this person glowing like a Christmas tree?
She looks to be Divian or the animal race. She is completely pale-skinned and completely naked, with long white hair and holding a silver orb. As she touches down onto the water, she does not sink. She actually floats on top of it.
Oh, I'm gonna clap. Bravo.
She has very, very, very bright blue eyes.
Yeah, not bad.
She looks and she says, "Take care. There are many who would see you fail in your quest to come. This land is not like that of most other places in Gaia. You need to take caution when pursuing further in."
So, my facial expression is gonna be like kind of dumbfounded to shocked. Like, what? 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 How can you tell me all this? And then I imagine they're leaving, right?
There's one here on this continent who would seek to do you harm.
Me personally.
He once tried to kill you before.
Fantastic.
You remember,
So what are those?
You remember him, don't you? If you try to remember that day that you almost perished.
Want me to roll a check on that?
Go ahead.
What am I rolling?
Roll me D100 flat.
You stay out. Yeah, you stay out. Spending time with the kids.
Nice.
Nice.
You flash back to an image of the battle you had when you almost perished. You remember fighting demons, but you remember something else. You remember as you swabbed through the lesser demons and were achieving victory, you saw the flash of steel before your eyes, and you felt the cold, sharp pain of the blade stabbing through your gut. As you look up to see your assailant, you see a man dressed in black and red Lambit samurai armor, wearing a demonic face mask with a typical helm of the samurai. He wields a katana that he pulls out of you, and he stands down and looks at you.
No, out.
You cannot see his facial features, but you can tell one very, very interesting thing about him. His eyes are black. And I do not mean black as in the iris is surrounded by black. I mean there is no whites of his eyes. It is
Right,
all
no sclera, no
black. And then you remember Lady Maria killing off a few of the demons, the man running, Maria running after him, and then Vlad picking you up to basically save you.
All right. And I guess I got some business with Maria next time. Okay. Well, I'm gonna call pretty lady, averting the gaze. And anything else?
She gives a little smile, and she says, "Yes. Remember to clean me periodically. The blood doesn't wash itself off." And she goes back up into the light, and you are back sitting in the camp.
Fantastic. And I imagine Vlad just kind of doing the whole waving the hand in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
Who kills everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You should jump into this game, hon.
What
I
happened?
am partially inebriated.
How did I
and
get
that's
here?
not gonna happen.
Well, I mean, in the future.
Yeah, I will.
No one?
I've
Nothing?
got to.
Be right back.
Yep.
I've got to transfer
Where
shit
did you
from
go?
my laptop to an external.
Kind of like zoned out there, didn't you?
Yes, maybe I was having one of
I
those
was thinking
moments.
about getting a SATA
1,000-yard
hard
stare
drive,
moment.
Yes.
dock, so I can use that
One of
as
those
external
PTSD
storage,
moments.
Since we
Yeah.
have, I have one
I'm
extra
reliving
SATA
Edville all
drive
over
that's just
again.
been kind of sitting, and then your other good one that I can wipe.
Talk to me, brother.
Don't care.
I got you.
That way I'll have plenty of space.
So I'm gonna
And then that way
step
we
up,
can use
dust
one of
myself
them
off,
as like a media server.
grab you by the shoulder, and
So
well,
we can
it wasn't
watch
actually
TV
that.
whenever
I don't know what happened.
all the fucking
But
videos that I got saved and all the TV shows I
for
got.
me, I was taken somewhere else. And like I said, don't know what happened out here. Don't know if I was still here for you guys. I don't know if I disappeared entirely. But I myself was not here. I was somewhere else. I was being talked to. Some naked woman I never recognized before. Never seen before.
Was she hot?
Seemed pretty hot, yeah.
And then bring up the hamper and the stuff that's in the dryer up.
Did you do
So,
Of course, that's one of the answers.
I'll do that after the game's over.
That's fine.
as fun as it would have been,
That way I can start it tomorrow and have everything
I didn't get the shot.
And then
She said she was reminding me of the day you met and saved my life, and I'm starting to remember things from it. This is going to be. There's someone here on this island. But someone here who was there that day and is looking to kill us. Well, us, I mean me.
What did the pit snake say?
And that's the thing, I remember his Oyoroi, his Kabuto helmet, his demonic mask. The one thing that stuck out was his eyes were pitch black. There was no sclera, there was no iris, there was just blackness.
I took a shot at something right before I came towards you. I don't know if that was him or what.
We don't know, but I'm gonna have to
Don't
take care
have
of
too
this.
many good memories of that day.
Yeah, that goes for both of us. So we're gonna have to keep our ear to the ground on this one. If it's a plot from the other house, it's not good. If it's someone, I don't know. I need to think on this more. And I have the strange urge to clean my blade.
No, it's not going to pay me.
You seem to be having a lot of strange things happening to you lately also. You might have to consult Lady Sylvia about these. See if something's possessing you.
Yep, that's probably fine. You've had one stuck to you for a while. I saw it in the car.
And with that, I think we will save that rest of that for the next session. So if Bot has other things to do, I'm tapping out here.
I think he said he'd be right back.
Yeah.
He
So I
did
don't.
say he was going to be back.
Yeah. But he said there's also.
So what's this about? Something with the blade? What did you do to Tanya's sword?
Calm down. It just turns out that I'm the best. All right.
For the new computer, so I can downgrade. Because I don't like 10 or.
Apparently his blades get possessed. And talk to him.
Mm-hmm. It's weird.
So wait. So the new sword that Tanya made possessed.
Is now possessed, yeah. Apparently.
This is gonna be great.
I think his gloves are possessing his swords.
What else was I doing? Oh, when Cersei's being good,
I'm stuck on a goddamn train.
the trees
Are you
will
really on a
never
fucking
know
train?
what happened.
No, no.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
I'm
but
home
good.
now.
She's actually obeying. I pet her, give her love.
Well,
Bro,
you just
you
give
were
her love
stuck
for
on a
her
train
treats
though.
because she likes the treats. She prefers treats over
Traffic.
love.
Was a bitch.
Eh.
Because I just tested that. Because she started attacking my hand when I was petting her. I petted her for like less than 5 seconds. Then she started attacking. I was like, okay, fine.
Well, you missed
Grabbed
out.
out the treats. She was really
Yeah,
loving it.
we had combat, but you were holding down the fort. You sparred with me. It was
Alrighty.
great.
So
I noticed that
Is getting to
you're
the point
not
where she
entirely
wants to start
human.
wanting to
So if you
eat
want to
my
bring that up
treats.
later,
She needs to get better
um,
at that.
I
it's on
shot
you.
your ear
Tanya?
She
off.
needs to learn that that's not okay. She
Yes.
can't go up and piss the cat off for no fucking reason. Until at least I
No, I
figure out
think Tanya is
when her moves
human.
are.
Uh,
No,
At least I know what her fucking moves
like
are.
we were doing another sparring,
Because it seems every
and
time she wants to
Bot
play,
said
her little
like something
rowdy. But when
weird
I'm
is
fucking
happening.
doing
Like you
Penny,
you're very clearly human, but at the same time you had
come,
elongated ears like
come
an elf,
in the last house.
and
Okay, then yeah.
yeah.
Penny gets a little
So
too curious.
after that, I
She
said,
doesn't
"All right,
like it, and she
Bot.
goes and distracts me.
Zeta wants to
So
acknowledge this. So I'll bring it to your
I've
attention.
read that. So Penny
I
probably
would
needs to be
rather
locked up
it
for
be Zeta and
months
not
to be
you.
a pattern.
It's all
It kind of
depending
screws
on
me
what you
out.
want to do.
Well, I'm cool with being
But I hurt her too.
the
So
Sylvan.
that like won't bother me in the
It
long
would
run.
make some sense to some degree.
excellent.
Yes, with like how pale you are,
After
your
this is over, I'll get the
ears,
stuff in the
etc.
locker and bring that down. I'll bring this
Even
up
though
and I'll get
there's
everything
actual race that is, these
transferred.
are the pale people, ears are elven, is this a kind of okay, that makes me more likely to be a Nephilim.
Just take everything down and then bring it back up. Other stuff. I have a
What?
flat sheet that's
Because if he
Nephilim is
allows it,
a
I'll
not a
totally
complete
go
human.
Nephilim.
but because it's a twin size flat sheet, it might fit like
What?
the actual like
Nephilims are
original
like a
sheet
mixture of
of
human
that bed.
and
Well, they're
So I had to use the
humans
same
other
with
race.
that's gray that we can set
other races' souls with them.
that we can basically make
Souls, basically, in a human.
just
Half elf?
beads or
Yeah. So like,
build
Sylvan?
yeah,
Actually, I have
probably.
a couple really good ideas for a new character you can make in this campaign too.
I already have a character in that
So
campaign. Her
yep,
name is
we're just
Lipstick
waiting
Cheeks.
on Bot now.
She's godlike, hon. You gotta.
So
Yep.
Your character's like already at.
It's a shame I did miss out on a
for me to
lot.
make guest
I
appearances
mean,
to
honestly, it
kick
wasn't that much.
everybody's
We
butt.
Well,
pretty
guest
much spent an
appearances,
hour in
yes,
combat.
but like.
That
That's
was
all
about
I
it.
want to do. No, that's all I want to do. I want to show up in my godlike
Where's
That would have
boots,
been an
Nephilim in the
hour of
book?
me
fucking
actually
beat the shit out of
punching
everybody, and
somebody with the
disappear.
gauntlets or
Only to come back another day once
one-handing
again.
cleaving somebody.
Just like Sephiroth. Only never being beaten by Clef.
Does anyone know where
No
Nephilim is in the
unfun.
book?
It's
It's
in
like chapter 2
the
Oh, some of the time.
of core book.
beginning of the core book.
I get
Yep,
hard.
chapter 2. Fossils.
I are back.
Welcome back. So I've formed a party. What's going on? And well, specifically Vlad. I'll tell everyone else. Weird shit's happening to me. I don't understand it too much, and I have the strangest urge to clean my sword. I'm gonna go do that. So, if you got anything else planned, you can do it with them.
That's dirty.
It is. I know.
Stop polishing the new sword. It doesn't need that much abuse.
If you polish it too much, it's
Well,
going to leave a mess.
He did just use the sword today a lot.
I think Vlad just had a stroke.
What?
I think Vlad just had a stroke.
Why did I?
Because you just, like, cut out.
Oh. I said he did just use the sword today a lot.
Yeah. But with that, the session will come to a close with you guys kind of looking all at each other somewhat awkwardly now.
Well, they're all
Or
looking at each
accurate.
other awkwardly. I'm doing something else.
And with that, the session will come to a close.